So with that last minute support coming in from Nifty Bank, which is up around 50 points, all set to close at around 25,500 or above that mark. All the indices are actually going to close, very, very close to the year high. Nifty above 10,500, Sensex above 34,000. So these are some record levels that we are seeing on the last day of the current year. BSE small cap index, but look at it, 122 points, almost half a percent or 2/3%. And Nifty small cap 100, if you look at, is up almost 1%. These indices are actually at record high levels, and they have outperformed Sensex and Nifty, and that run in small caps continues even on the last day of trade. Now, interestingly, if you look at the breakup of Sensex today, over last few sessions, we had more losers than gainers, but today on the last day we have more gainers here. Tata Motors DVR, Hero Moto, so this is one sector which has done well. Even Maruti is there, up 1%. Bajaj Auto has gained almost 0.75%. You also have IT names like TCS and Wipro doing well in today's trade, and Axis Bank has recovered up 2.5%. HDFC is up 1%. So private banks are also supporting the index. Interestingly, however, you also have ICICI Bank and IndusInd Bank not doing that well. Some correction in Tata Steel, DRL, and most importantly, heavyweight RIL and HDFC Bank are down, but down just marginally, so not really affecting the overall performance of the index.
Well, Pradeep, it's curtains down for 2017, and we've ended the year on a high note and high spirits, so to say. So let me start off with the new kid on the block, and that's Ashton Paper, which had a good listing today. In fact, the stock was locked in upper circuit with good gains that one had to see on day one for this counter. Anil Ambani Group stocks have been active not only today but throughout this week. So look at Reliance Communication. Today also it surged nearly 17% in trade, and the rub-off effect was actually seen with the other companies as well. So Reliance Power saw good gains coming about in today's trade, up almost 12%, closing around the day's high levels, almost around 50. But the other over-leveraged companies from the likes of JP Associates, that too gained in today's session. So that saw gains of almost closer to 13%. HDIL, which could just enter into the F&O ban, that counter was also active, up about 11% in trade. And you also had GMR Infra, which did well today. So that also saw great gains, so to say. But Idea finally closed the year above the mark of 100, around 108, 6% higher for today. But this was the counter which saw a lot of correction post that deal with Vodafone was announced this year, but great closing from those lower levels for Idea. Indraprastha Medical Corporation, it's a company we don't talk about it every day, but it did close on a high note with 13 to 14% gains, and paper stocks were active. So Balkrishna Paper was up and about. Two stocks which did not do well, Infibeam, right from the word go in the morning, saw very deep cuts. That was down today, and MCX was down almost 2.5 to 3% in today's session. Neeraj.
Well, and that sums up the day, the week, the month, the year, and it's been a fabulous year for sure. 0.5% for today, but I mean, and today's analysis is separate, but at 10,530. These are exceptional levels that we are closing in at, almost at life highs, and on terms of closing basis as well, which is actually pretty good. And then you do a bit of a rewind into what the year looked like, and you will see that it is essentially dominated by metals, by real estate, by consumer durables, and to an extent banking. I think all kind of banking spaces did very well. This is for the year as a whole. And if you look at the gainers, Bajaj Finance topping the list. I think the camera will need to come in a bit, but Bajaj Finance topping the list. Then some of the metal names as well. Tata Steel amongst others right up there. Vedanta is amongst the top gainers with about a 52% gain. Hindalco is somewhere out there, 75% gain. Maruti, the big boy, nudging that 10,000 mark in this current calendar. In a manner of speaking, amongst the large cap names, Maruti stands out, but it's been a fabulous move for Maruti as well, 83% for this one. And Reliance Industries, the big boy, participated, 70% gains for the mammoth market cap that Reliance has. That's great. And as you can see, what a good year was, that amongst the worst performing stocks as well, we have 4 stocks which were gaining, and except for Pharma and Coal India, we didn't have too many losers, which is actually the highlight of what this year did. I just want to bring up a couple of more indices. One is the Nifty 500 if we can, or actually some of the best performing indices. So S&P BSE Realty, India Realty Index was the best performing index amongst all the sectoral indices, better than consumer durables as well. And look at the kind of performances that have come in. The worst performing stock, and HDR is separate 9%. Otherwise, the worst performing stock has actually doubled or 50% returns, which is Omaxi. So good going really for the real estate space in this year, as also for the consumer durable space, which is actually done rather well for itself. VIP, Titan, PC Jewelers, Bajaj Electricals as well, doing very well. The worst performing stock, TTK, which is also up about 34%, which are gains that you will take with both hands, to be honest. Yes, there have been losers, but I think it's a year that has belonged to the gainers. Even at the broader end of the spectrum, even in the metal space, Coal India may be an exception, but all the other stocks did very well. At the broader end of the spectrum, if you just pull up the small caps or the Nifty 500, you will see the quantum of gains that have come in for certain stocks, northwards of 1,000% in cases like HEG, for example. It just shows the kind of strength that we've had in this year gone by. Let's try and wrap up this segment by asking final questions to all our experts. How does today set us up for the next week? Shrikant, I'll start off with you.
I think, see the way today the market closed, and you just mentioned that like market is closing to the highest point of the overall rally for the year. And if you go through with the pattern of or the trend of 2003 to 2008, every year the market closed to its highest point of the year. So it's not like something new to the market, but yes, whenever there is a bullishness in the market, it closes highest point of the year. Yes, for the next week, I'm expecting 10,600 as a very strong hurdle for the market. I'm expecting market to correct up to 10,400 first, and then again rally to maybe 10,800 or 11,000. So initial weakness is not ruled out.
Okay, an initial weakness to 10,400 and then a recovery. That is what you are actually looking at. But what would be your favorite trade, Sarvendra, in New Year?
Yeah, I would like to take this opportunity first to wish everybody a happy 2018 in advance. And as I said, I would not be one of the guys who will be delivering the good news. I think that 2018 could be a year initially of the first half could be painful, and the January cycle could turn the tide. Looking at my proprietary readings and the kind of setups I do, I'm a devil's advocate, but that is what my job is. I've been doing it.
So what's your favorite short, Sarvendra, in New Year?
Yeah, I think my favorite short for the new year would be Bajaj Finance. I think it's closed on a quarterly bearish harami, and it has completed a secular run for the last 7 years, and that stock probably could fall 20-25% minimum. So if I have to pick a top sell, in fact I have a lot of sells, but yeah, one name that comes to my mind is Bajaj Finance.
Okay, and Gaurang, what about you? How would you sum up to 2017?
I think great year in terms of return on the Sensex, stock specific, as Neeraj, Pradeep, and you were listing down in terms of percentage. And I already made a disclosure in my opening comments that I expect 15-20% return in 2018. The tide would be a little bit rough and tough and volatile, given that you have 8 states that go into election. And starting the year, the Jan, Feb, I think we are going to be driven by first Q3 earnings, and then my all compliments to the Honorable Finance Minister that he will use his wisdom, he will use his experience to walk the path of righteousness and not to open up the purse strings and give out goodies just to attract vote bank. And I think he has done a commendable job in the last whatever budgets he have presented, and I think he will use the same wisdom this time around. Volatility and turbulence may come in form of state elections as they approach, as and when the dates are there, and of course respectively the outcome of the respective state elections. But having said that, I think there is life beyond 2018 and 2019, and I'm quite sure that we are in for a steady upside, barring some odd days and months and weeks of correction. That will be a great opportunity to buy.
Okay. Gentlemen, all of you, thank you so much for being part of the show today, as also over the last few months. It's been a pleasure talking with each of you, and Wish you and your families and your teams a great 2018.